Hello and welcome back for episode 8 of Pentagon for Gold. Things have been going quite well. We're now sitting in third place and we've just played a few games. The last game you all have seen being Supersport United in the Cup when we won 2-0 and went through to the semi-final where we're facing Sundowns. We've also beaten Kaiser Chiefs and Black Leopards since, and then we drew in a slightly frustrating game against Golden Arrows where we conceded a penalty that wasn't really a penalty before Ace Sally scored a penalty of his own. In the Black Leopards game, we also conceded a penalty, which was saved by Peter Levenberg, who had a pretty strong game throughout. But today, we've got the big challenge of 2 games against Sundowns, one away and one at a neutral venue. I had thought that the Cup game was going to be at home, but given it's a semi-final, it appears to be a neutral venue, which takes away a bit of our advantage, and actually means that they'll probably be comfortable favourites for this game. But given how the first game went, where we managed to somehow get a good result, even though they absolutely dominated the game. Hopefully we can get that again today. We've also got a bit of an injury crisis, but we'll make the most of the players that we have, hopefully, and we should be able to get at least one result. I'd hope it would be in the Cup. We could at least get a win there. I wouldn't mind a draw in the away game against Sundowns, particularly as our position in the table's pretty safe. We are in third place with 3 points clear of the next place team that has the same number of games played as us, and everyone else has played a game more. So we can afford to lose this game if anything, but it would be nice to get a draw because Sundowns are a dangerous team. The good news is also our goal difference is looking pretty good. For a team that's just been promoted, a 23 goal difference is not something to be sniffed at. So I'm very happy with that. So, for the first game today, which is a game against Mamelodi Sundowns away from home, for which they're heavy favourites because they're at home, I've got a bit of an injury crisis, and Makuma is also ineligible for this game. So we've got quite an unusual lineup. Mako is starting, Beloy is at right back. I also want to maintain Mukamela's status in the team because he's a yellow card away from a suspension. I don't want him to miss out on the next game in the league, particularly as this game is probably going to be a loss. But in the meantime, this is the lineup we're going for. It's not the strongest I've ever played, but I'd like to keep some players fit for the second game of the episode against Mamelodi Sundowns in the Cup. And I think that's probably a more important game, particularly because we're not really going to achieve anything by winning here. There's not really anything to be gained by coming third or 14th or whatever. So it wouldn't be an absolute disaster if we failed to win here. But we've started with the ball. We've got 10 minutes in and we're in the lead. Well, more of this please for the rest of the episode. That'd be wonderful. Matiz has not been fantastic so far, particularly in the most recent games. He's not done much. He's had quite a few injuries. He seems to be a little bit injury prone. But that was a good bit of movement and then a decent finish from him. And hopefully we can keep this going throughout the episode because being that clinical is a good sign when you're playing against the best team in South Africa and just about the only South African team that looks comfortable for playing in the Total CAF Champions Cup. And Matizwa, there might be a penalty in there? Okay, apparently it was offside, so it's a free kick to Sundowns. A little bit disappointing. I would have quite liked a penalty there. But of course this isn't the most important game, so if I have to get a win today, just one, it would be in the Cup. Levenberg and Sumaharo, Sibande and Don. I don't know how strong the Sundowns lineup is today. I know at least Malambi is playing and he's one of the best players in the division. But it looks like it's a decent team that they put out, so this has been a very good start considering we're not playing our first strength 11. Mako sends it long. Spande's had a good start to the game. He's not fully fit, but he's doing well. And Koopstad has a chance here. I'm not quite sure why he was attempting that with his left foot, and his left foot did not manage to do a very successful shot there. Probably should have passed to Matizwa if he could have. And Beloy here sends it in for Mositalaga, and it's just wide. But we are actually dominating this game. This is very impressive, particularly away from home. It does look like quite a strong team for Sundowns. Malambi is definitely their star player. Oh, Mostilaga's taken a knock, which is not ideal because we don't really have any options because Narodian is injured and Makuma is ineligible for both games, so I can't even play him on the wing. I might have to take Mostilaga off at half time to keep him fit for the second game. Let's see what we've got on the bench. Fumbidsai, who is just coming back from food poisoning as it happens. Hopefully that doesn't stop him making an impact, and he won't. I imagine if it's food poisoning he'll be fine for the next game anyway, even if he plays a part here. But we don't want him throwing up on the pitch, so who knows what's going to happen. Buchanan's not having the greatest of games. He hasn't been particularly great in the games that I played today, but he was good in the last episode and the few games before that. I probably want to get Jesse Don off at some point because I think he'll have a big part to play in the next game. Koopstad with a chance here. Decent effort. Comfortable save for Onyango in the end. We've absolutely dominated this game. This is a really good sign for the semi-final of the Cup if we can play like this. Particularly with our not strongest 11. Sabande with a good challenge. I've given away quite a lot of penalties recently, so I was half expecting the referee to give that there. And Matiz was through here. Oh, that's a cracking save from Onyango. Matizwa might have done better there, but not too bad. Let's get Ishmael on. And ooh, I don't know who to bring off. Buchanan doesn't have anyone who can play there. I might put Sally there and then bring on Patty in place of Koopstad, in place of Buchanan. And it's broken out to Mako here. Fumbidzai here with a chance to get the ball in. Jesse Don, and it's blocked out by Daruk. And now we seem to have a corner. Nothing to come from that. We've played very well this game. I'm very impressed with this performance. The team we've got out now is definitely not our strongest. Particularly Sally on the wing is not ideal. And we've conceded. That's unlucky. Out of seemingly nowhere, Sundowns have got a goal. It was a very good header, not much chance for Levenberg in the end. It's really unfortunate. We've deserved this win thoroughly. But hopefully that just means we'll be fired up for the second leg, effectively, of today's episode. Surely not. I think Matizwa was a bit too isolated here, but Beloy's now got the ball. Matizwa sends it in. Oh, how's that not gone in? That is an unbelievable save. How has he saved that? Oh, that's unbelievable. Can't believe we're not winning here. I can see it's going to be one of those games. Finally getting karma for our first game against Sundowns this season where they dominated and we somehow won 5-2. Fumbidzai sends it in, but not to one of our players. And now they've got a break on, but hopefully we'll get this out. Uh-oh. And Sadiku's kept it in. Good save by Levenberg. That's a relief. I had a feeling that was going to end up in a goal for Sundowns, but we'll take that. That was a good performance. We weren't expected to get anything from this game, really. And a draw against Sundowns is a good result. Regardless of the performance, we've done very well to get a draw here. So hopefully we can build on that in the next game when we're at a neutral venue, so it's slightly less in their favour. And we can hopefully get through to the final, where I imagine we'll play Stellenbosch. But if we're lucky, we might play Bloem Celtic. For the second game of today's episode, we've got a bit of a problem. Basically, Rivas has got injured as well, who I think rested for the last game just in preparation for this game. So now Sumaharo and Ismail will be my starting pair. Jesse Don is also starting in defensive mid because Koopstad's a little bit tired, and actually most of the players that are on our bench at the moment are rather tired, and we've already got several injuries. So these players are pretty much all we've got left in the squad. Thankfully, the entire starting lineup is fully fit, but it's a little bit worrying that we're running out of players so much at this point. But after a good performance in the last game, let's hope we can build on that today, where we're playing at a neutral venue. So we don't have to play away, so they don't have the advantage of their home fans quite so much. But by this stage of the last game, we were dominating already, and so far not much has happened. Thankfully, not much has happened for them either. They've now had 4 shots. They must have had 2 in very quick succession. And they seem to be utterly dominating this game, which is a little bit concerning. I wonder if perhaps they were resting more players than we were. It looks like it could turn into our chance here, though. Come on, Makamela. Come on, Patty. Oh, De Rurk's blocked that off well. Sumahoro, though, keeps the ball for us. And Beloy into Mositalaga, and he's slightly skied that. Buchanan's already a little tired. It's a good sign that we're getting the chances we're actually seeing, even though Sundowns have had more shots. Onyango catches that cross comfortably. Let's keep the ball here, Sumahoro. Don't give it away. Good work. Buchanan almost sold Don a bit short there. Ishmael sends it long, but it's given it straight away to Sundowns again. And now Malambi's on the ball. Oh, it's a fantastic pass, and we are losing. That's not good. Not good at all. Well, you'd have to say, based on the number of shots they've had, they deserve this. But we deserve to win the last game, so it'd be a major problem if we didn't manage to win this one. Let's get us... It's a difficult one to do, because often I'll go attacking if my team isn't quite getting going. Against this Sundowns team, that seems very dangerous. Here's a chance. Mositalago with the corner. They've headed it out. We need to get there. Good work from Ishmael to get back. Fumbidzai into Mukamela. Looking for Mositalaga. Looked like he had a chance to shoot there, but he hasn't gone for that. Patty though. Mukamela, and it's a pretty poor shot in the end. Easy to catch for Nyango. Hopefully that's not the end of the chance. Oh, what a ball. And Matiz was equalised. What a fantastic assist from Sumahoro. The Sundowns defence seemed to go to sleep a little bit there. But what a ball. I don't know if he's trying to do that. Certainly the right centre-back for Sundowns was pretty poor there, and the keeper was off his line. And I'm glad Matiz was managed to put that away. So we're now back on level pegging, which is great news. Unfortunately, we don't have many players that we can bring on, so hopefully this won't have to go to extra time and we can nick a goal towards the end of the game. Sundowns bringing it out of the back here. Looks like they're keeping the ball quite well. Madiba, one of the more dangerous players of the division. Mabo. And now Jali's on the edge of the box. Madiba again. Chance to cross in, and that's a fantastic save from Levenberg. Really good stop. Not liking the mentalities of some of the boys here. Buchanan here. Chance to counter. I imagine it'll probably be stopped, given that it came off their chance. And yes, Jali's given away a throw-in, but has stopped that attack. Mositalaga and Buchanan are both exhausted. It's not ideal. Sumahoro into Buchanan, who almost lost it, but we've just about kept it. And Matizwa's got a chance here. Come on. He's done it. Wonderful assist from Patty as well. But Matizwa's having the game of his life here. This is fantastic. It's going to be a tough decision whether to bring off the players that are a little bit tired at this point. But I think what I will... just as I was thinking of moving Fumbidzai a bit further forward, I think I will keep him on just because he was tired later than the other two. It's so difficult to know what to do in this. I think I might just keep the players on that are on there at the moment. We can always sub someone off if it comes to it. Jesse Dunn should probably come off. Koopstad can come on as he's nearly fit. But I'm a bit wary about putting Sally onto the wing again. Let's maybe just take the pace of the game down a little bit. Don't want to give the ball away too many times. And let's get one more sub on. It's difficult to know who to bring on though. Buchanan should probably come off for Sally, I reckon. Please don't be a goal conceded. keep the ball, lads, keep the ball. Oh, Matizwa's was through again, and he scored again. Wonderful. What a performance from him. Goes straight onto the time wasting. Hat-trick for Matizwa. He's shown that he can replace Makuma. Certainly making me wonder whether to keep him for next season, because I hadn't actually been planning on it, particularly because I believe Matizwa isn't actually South African, and there's a foreign player limit in this league. Cracking finish. The goalkeeper for Sundowns has been really bad. Hasn't really done much, particularly on the second and third goals. But I don't mind that. To be fair, we've probably been the best team in the league against Sundowns this season. Haven't really checked Stellenbosch's progress against them, but I'm very impressed with particularly this performance. Being very clinical again. Oh no, that's awful. Awful. What is he doing? I think it's Mukamela. Very poor. And now we have to avoid conceding in the next 3 minutes. I would be absolutely gutted if we failed here. And we've done it. We're through to the final, which gives us a chance to get through to the Confederation Cup, which isn't the Champions League equivalent. It's the Europa League equivalent. But what a performance from Matizwa in particular. That was fantastic. Great news. So let's see how the other teams got on in the cup. It may be that they don't play till tomorrow, in which case I will come back when we see that. Unfortunately, it's taken quite a long time to show us what's actually happening. I have got a lot of leads loaded because it's the Pentagon Challenge, so I need South American teams, I need North American teams, and I need Asian teams as well as all the European teams. Let's see. So we've won in that semi-final. Brilliant performance from Matizwa. He was superb in front of goal, so let's praise him for that. Let's see. So as you can see, Mkwango's approaching retirement, as is Hendricks, who is a fitness coach who, judging by those stats, I don't think I'm going to miss him too much. Let's have a look. So we haven't seen that final yet. Let's see. I would hope for Bloem Celtic. I'd fancy us as favourites for that. Stellenbosch less so. We lost to them in the league last time, and although they're massively overperforming, they are in second place, so they are definitely a dangerous team who I don't really want to be facing. Well, not the news I was looking for. Stellenbosch are through to the final to play me. They actually just about scraped through in the end. It was a 2-2 draw, which they won on penalties. If I can take a closer look. I don't know if I can take a closer look. But Stellenbosch, they won on penalties, having gone behind in extra time to Bloem Celtic. So Stellenbosch scored in the 2nd minute, Bloem Celtic equalised in the 88th. For Bloem Celtic went ahead and Stellenbosch equalised in the 116th minute. So that does mean that we are playing against Stellenbosch, who are 2nd in the league. The only other team aside from Sundowns that are above us in the league, but their media prediction is 8th. So hopefully that does mean that we can do some damage against them. Last time we played them, we lost 2-1, as you can see here. And they probably deserved it. We got a penalty, but aside from that, we didn't do all that much. And they've only really lost a couple of games, 3 games this season in the league, and one in the Telkom knockout semi-final, which they got absolutely battered by Sundowns. So that's a good sign that we could win this, but it's a bit worrying that we're having to play them. It is at a neutral venue, and again, it's just before our final away game of the season against them again. So that does mean that the games we've got left, we've got Supersport, Maritzburg, Bloem Celtic, TS Galaxy, Stellenbosch twice, and Chipper United. Of those games, I'd say only really the Stellenbosch games we wouldn't be favourites for. Supersport and Maritzburg are both decent teams. Supersport would usually be better than they are. They're currently in 8th, but they are predicted to finish 4th. And Maritzburg are currently in 4th, predicted to finish 6th. And actually they are currently sitting above us, but only because they've played a lot more games than us. So we should be favourites for those, but I'm not looking forward to having to face Stellenbosch again, because last time we faced them it was a frustrating game. As you can see, our forwards didn't really get involved all that much. Ace Sally came on and scored a penalty, but aside from that there wasn't much going on, I do think that was a game that Peter Levenberg did not have a good performance. He did actually get injured, as it happens, which I don't think I've ever seen a goalkeeper get injured in a game. But he was not in the best of form. So hopefully that won't be the case next time, and we will be able to go get the win, which would result in us getting, I believe, £600,000 if we go to the final. So we'll get 250k regardless, which is fantastic for our finances, which are better than they were. We're definitely making progress, but still not absolutely fantastic. 600k would write off most of our debt and might allow me to get a coaching course sorted, because I've only managed to do, I think it's my National C licence, which was the very first one, and that was right at the start of the save. And by this stage last year, my club still had some decent finances, so I had probably got to at least the continental licences. This year, that's just not been possible. But I guess that's a good challenge to have, and it means that I won't be able to advance through the best teams in each continent quite so quickly, because last year, I mean, I eventually gave up on North America because the US system was so complicated. This year I will do it, but this time in Mexico. But last time I went straight from HUS Agadir to Guangzhou Evergrande in China, who just happened to be looking for a manager because they'd had a bad season. But it did mean having a budget of about 200 million and already having the best Chinese players in the division did give me a good head start on the Asian continental competition, because I had so much money and the league wasn't too much of a challenge. I had some very good players, particularly the Chinese ones were far beyond their counterparts, and I was able to sign pretty much anyone I wanted. I remember getting Mason Greenwood, but hopefully it'll be a little bit more of a challenge this year. We've already gone into the second division of South Africa, which was much more challenging to do than going to HUS Agadir and just starting straight away in the top division where finances aren't too much of an issue. We've done quite well on the finances this season, so winning the cup would be fantastic, because getting down to 400k in the red rather than a whole £1 million would be great, because not really since January of 2021, over a year since we last were around that level. And then we'd also have the potential of getting money from the league. I don't know if there's much that comes from the league. I know each period has certain amounts of money that come with it, but yeah, so we'd get a decent amount. We'd get 175k. Ideally, you'd want to win the whole thing and get 698k, which would see us comfortably in the black. But I'd say it's a bit of a lost cause. We're 15 points behind with 5 games left. So unless Sundowns and Stellenbosch both have absolute collapses and we manage to overturn that ridiculous 27 goal difference in 5 games, nothing's going to be happening anytime soon. In fact, we are in 5th, not Cape Town City. So we're even further away. We do have a game in hand on Sundowns, but it's still incredibly unlikely at this point. But anyway, we've had a pretty successful episode again. A good win in the cup to take us through to the final against Stellenbosch. Matizwa got a really good hat-trick. Actually only got 4 goals in the entire competition, 3 of which came in that game. But we're doing pretty well in our aims to avoid relegation, and we've already achieved our reaching the quarter-final. So my board are pretty happy with me, I believe. Having an A star at this stage is good news. And we're repairing the club's financial damage. We're remaining in the PSL. We've become an established PSL team, which has also sorted out a few of the promises that we had. I don't know if I can change it to here. You can see we've succeeded all of these because we were supposed to yo-yo between divisions, and we would have still made these players happy. These players will be leaving regardless, I think, because Patty is quite old, Zumaro is quite old, and they're not necessarily the best players in their position. But everything's going quite well at the moment. I'm sure that won't be the case in future, and hopefully we can get some more players back, because Kevin Reeves has got pulled knee ligaments, which meant that he missed out on that last game, and he's out for a few weeks. So we may stumble in the league in the next few weeks before the end of the season. But hopefully we can stay roughly where we are in the table. If we're lucky, we might be able to catch up with Stellenbosch. I'd say it's unlikely at this point, given we're 13 points behind with only 6 games left. But the big aim, is to win the Nedbank Cup final so that we can get into the conference division, the Conference League. and that way we'll be able to make some good money, and hopefully that will allow us in future to get into the CAF Champions League. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel, and I hope to see you next time.